first instance, but
Look at
our plan
Warragamba
is of
Dam.
course make sure that we accommodate people in our evacuation centres, and I assume there'll be more evacuation centres on top of the 13 we already have.
All that water's got to go somewhere.
Just in the Nepean region. So, for example, in some parts of the state, it's a 1 in 5 or 1 in 10
Watch
year
it
event. In parts
cascading
of
over
the
the
northern rivers area and
sluice.
Hastings area, it's actually a 1 in 100 year event. So it's not a statewide average. Different parts of the state have been impacted more than others. And what it looks like to be in the Nepean Hawkesbury Valley is a 1 in 50 year event. So going
Look at
back to the
that.
1 in 60. So parts of
That's a
the Hastings
spectacle, isn't
region
it?
in particular are experiencing a 1 in 100
God.
year event. And that is something we have to put into context. Other parts of the state less severe, but we have to assume the worst in terms of the next few days in the Nepean Hawkesbury Valley, and the rivers in that catchment are just boiling over. And we have to assume that that will be a 1 in 50 year event, and that will materialise in the next few days. We're just warning everybody now so they're not caught unawares. We're warning everybody now so that they don't assume it's something similar to what they experienced last year or 5 years ago. A lot of people who will be asked to evacuate have been through it before, but many people who will be asked to evacuate wouldn't have been through that before because they wouldn't have been in the same household for half a century. And that's why we need to put this into context and really ask people to follow the advice and to be ready for the worst possible scenario.
Just on the dam issue again, would it have helped to release water from the dam to prevent spillage? And in your view, and have you received any advice or indication?
It's where we get all our drinking water from
Some water has been released in the last month.
From the Warragamba.
Has been released in the last month. But given the rainfall that we're experiencing in the next few days, you would have had to have reduced the capacity of the dam to around 20 or 25%, which just wouldn't have been feasible. I mean, that puts into context how much rain we're expecting to get over the next few days. It is a 1 in a half century event, and it's not just, you have to look beyond just the dam. It's all the rivers that are overflowing. It's the sustained rainfall in very short periods of time that's been bucketing down. And again, the fact that it's a front that's not moving, it's kind of locked in there for a few days, which again, we've not seen for half a century. So all of that has to be put into context. And that's why it's really important for us, first and foremost, to make sure people know they may need to leave their homes, to be ready for that, and to please take the advice as soon as you get that advice, because we don't want to see any lives lost. The one saving grace in the last few days has been that we don't know of anyone who's lost their lives, and let's keep it that way. Our first and foremost priority is to save lives, save as many properties as possible, but also to give people enough warning of what's occurring. And I appreciate in parts of the mid and north coast regions which are experiencing the 1 in 100 year event, there's been sustained damage to infrastructure, there's been sustained damage to how people communicate and move around. And I just want to say to everybody in New South Wales who's experiencing that fear and that anxiety, that our thoughts are with you and we'll get assistance to you as soon as we can. But obviously that is limited to in our ability when the rain continues to fall, making sure we have enough flood rescue technicians, which is why we're grateful that 3 other states have supported us in that regard. Ordinarily, a state might deal with one localised flood issue. We're dealing with several, dozens in fact. If you count suburbs or local government areas, you're talking dozens and dozens of regions where you have to put that focus. It is a major operation, the likes of which again we've not seen for a long time, and the breadth and width of this will continue to grow, and that's why it's really important for us to get the message out about people being on high alert, being ready to evacuate when they need to, and already through the SES, our government agencies, and especially Resilience New South Wales, we are forward planning what the next few days and what the recovery will look like.